Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our mayor, Betty Dyer.
Good afternoon and welcome to the December 7th, 2015 meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation offered by Gail D. Sims from First Church of Christ Scientist located at 615 North Fern Creek in District 4. Mrs. Sims is currently a Christian Science practitioner and is the former president of the First Church of Christ Scientist Orlando branch from 2012 to 2015, and she is the widow of the former state senator Walter Sims, who served in the mid-70s and then ran for the United States Senate. You may stand or remain seated during the invocation, and it will be followed by the pledge led today by Commissioner Jim Gray.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer, and thank you to the City Council for issuing an invitation to representation from my church to be with you today on this very special day in our country. You know, 74 years ago, our country was attacked by a foreign nation endeavoring to do us grave harm. While only 6 years old at the time, I do remember that day and the many days that followed. Living in a suburb of New York City, we began to have many more air raid drills, being required to wear identification badges to our school, and rationing of many needful things, and saving many dimes and quarters from our war savings bonds. Every Memorial Day in our town, there was a big parade and prayers offered for those of our nation in battle. And as a Brownie, I proudly marched with my troop in those parades to honor our fallen heroes. Years later, at the Contemporary Hotel, which was attended at Disney, which was attended by many federal, state, and elected officials and dignitaries, I had the supreme honor of singing our national anthem for 38 of our returning POWs from Vietnam. Looking into the faces of those brave young men who had been treated so horrendously by our captors truly touched my heart that night. Today, as in the past, we need to unite in prayer for all our veterans, as well as for all our first responders who are serving our nation so faithfully to protect our freedoms, freedoms that perhaps are too often taken for granted. And let us ever be mindful of our blessings, giving the glory ever to God. And it is equally important to support our local, state, and federal officials in prayer, trusting the divine presence to guide them to do their very best for the good of the whole. The following words from a well-known song seem rather appropriate on this memorable day. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. In closing, I quote Apostle Paul in his letter to the Thessalonians found in the Holy Bible. Now the Lord of peace himself give you peace always by all means. The Lord be with you all. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's officially call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make a determination of quorum, please?
Yes, Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan? Here. Commissioner Hill? Here. Commissioner Eames?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First order of business is consideration of minutes from the agenda review and city council meetings, November 16th. Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. No presentations, recognitions today, so we'll move right into the Mayor's update. And of course, it is the holiday season, and the City of Orlando offers a wide variety of things for the entire family throughout the holiday season. We had the lighting of the Christmas tree on Friday, and we had by far the largest crowd that we have had since at least I've been in office at Lake Eola Park, and the tree is fantastic. The lights dance with music now, so it's all synchronated and coordinated. Pretty cool stuff. We have free outdoor movies, live music concerts, something for everybody. Go to cityoforlando.net/holiday for information on that, and I certainly want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. And we are now in the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, which started yesterday, so for those who are celebrating, happy Hanukkah. I want to encourage our city residents to apply to participate in the 2016 session of the Mayor's City Academy, which is a 10-week program where you interact with every department within the city government. The session will begin on Thursday, March the 10th, and to apply, go to cityoforlando.net, and the deadline for that is January the 11th, which happens to be the day that those who were just reelected will be sworn in as well. Neighborhood Watch, congratulations to all of our residents and Neighborhood Watch block captains who participated in National Night Out. I am proud to announce that thank you to your hard work, Orlando won first place in National Night Out this year. How about that?
Cool. All
Good
right.
stuff. So 38 million people in over 16,000 communities in all of our states participated, and Orlando took top honors.
All right.
And then I'm just going to mention two things on the consent agenda, and we did remove a couple of things that we talked about at agenda review, and one is the computer-aided dispatch for both OPD and OFD, which will increase our efficiency. The new CAD system is the next level of industry standard in the next generation of 911 and has the latest mapping technology and vehicle location, so it'll make it for faster, more efficient response times for both our OPD and OFD. And then the second one, as we seek to keep crime low and invest in technology like the new CAD system, we are also voting to accept grant funding that will allow us to use the latest technology in evidence collection and crime scene reconstruction, again, giving our police officers state-of-the-art tools and technology. With that, we will move to the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a number of items that are acted upon through a single vote of council. We give each of our members an opportunity to comment on items on the consent agenda as well as update you on interesting things from their district, and we rotate the order we do that. We're going to begin with District 1 today. Commissioner Jim Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. Activities both past and present, future in District 1, I try to put on my website, so I'll refer you to that. On the agenda, I'd just like to comment on one item, B11, and give my support for that. A growing city, we need to be able to process applications for permits, inspections, et cetera, and I know Tim Johnson, Brooke, and that team done a lot of work to try to stay up with that demand, so I support this one wholeheartedly, so thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Move to District 2, Commissioner Tony Ortiz.
Thank you, sir. Let's make it quick. I'd like to give my sincere condolences to Ms. Mercedes Fonseca, aide to Commissioner Pete Clark. She lost her father 2 weeks ago. Mr. Alfredo Fonseca, he was a veteran and an excellent family man, so my prayers are with Mercedes and her family. We had our first Community Arts and Craft Festival this past Saturday at Park of the Americas, and I got to say, it was really well put together, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you to all of those who got involved. We are looking forward to see more of this happening in our district. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Mr. Arthur Lee, also for
from Lee Wesley for donating turkeys during our Thanksgiving week to our community. A lot of people were very grateful for this, and our staff had a great time delivering those to people in need. So thank you so very much. May God bless you. Congratulations to our Neighborhood Watch also, copying the words of the mayor. Great job, and made us very proud in our city. And even though I believe we have one more city council before Christmas. We do. But anyhow, let me start saying Merry Christmas from now. So thank you. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 3, Commissioner Robert Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me also extend to my friends Happy Hanukkah and enjoy this time of Festival of Lights. I appreciate those who have shared that memento with me. A couple of quick things I'd like to share, and then I'll kind of move on. Congratulations to Bishop Moore High School. They won the semifinal game. They're going to represent, or they're in the 5A championship football game being played this Friday at 1 o'clock at the Citrus Bowl. So those of you who would like to attend, please come and attend and support one of our local schools. So we're excited about them.
Commissioner, I thought you'd also mention that the Osceola Cowboys are in the 8A final.
Is there still a high school down there?
Yes, and they're playing for the state championship.
There's still a high school down there in Osceola? I'm sorry. Why would I not be surprised that you would mention that, Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Aren't you an old cowboy? I am. You're an old cowboy. So the quick things, if you are a business or a resident in the Ivanhoe Village area, we want to join the Main Street group tonight at 6:30 at Barefoot Spa for their holiday mixer. Please come and join us for that. Beginning at noon on Sunday, December 13th, it's Free Family Day at the Manila Museum. Come enjoy free admission and a craft table where you can make your own holiday watercolor gift for your friends and family. And those interested in the proposed K-8 at the Audubon Park neighborhood, there'll be a meeting next Monday night. I mentioned it a week early, some people will know, being hosted by school board member Nancy Robinson with the near final plans of the school. The actual meeting will be at the Audubon Park Elementary Cafeteria. That's located at 1750 Common Way Road over at in Baldwin Park. And Mayor, I've gone through, had some questions with our staff, but other than that, I am completely happy with the issues that we related, and of course the delays that we have, which give us a chance to solve some of those problems. So I haven't got anything else on the agenda to add.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 4, Commissioner Patty Sheehan.
Thank you, Mayor. On the agenda today, on item A2, love seeing that Harlan Hansen is going to be on the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District. I think he'll be a great addition to that, as well as Jeff Thompson as Historic Preservation Board Chairman. And item C3, I'm delighted to see 520 East Church moving forward, and I think that's going to be a great new project in my district. And a couple of events coming. Wreaths Across America will be placing wreaths on military graves on December 12th at 12 p.m. at Greenwood Cemetery. So it's actually a very nice program that we have going on at Greenwood. If anyone would like to come and help us place wreaths, that'd be great. We're going to be hitting all the, placing them on all the military graves at Greenwood Cemetery. And also on December 12th, Saturday, Electric will be having a holiday concert at Lake Yola at the Band Shell at 7 o'clock p.m. Mayor, I know that's one of your favorite groups, so hope to see you there. And that's all I had. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 5, Commissioner Regina Hill.
Thank you, sir. First, I'd like to ask everyone to keep Curtis Buck Manning. He is one of the directors, the director over at Ivy Lane Community Center. Last week, he has a son who is Tashawn Manning. He's an All-American fullback, and he was diagnosed with leukemia. So please keep him in your prayers. He was recruited, a top recruit for Auburn University. So he's a fighter, and he's gone through his first treatment, and hashtag Team Manning. On November 24th, with the great partners of Publix and Orlando City Soccer in Shiloh Baptist Church, we were able to deliver 500 turkeys with the trimmings to the residents there in the Paramore area. And not only did Publix and Orlando City Soccer assist with sponsoring that event and supplies, I'd like to commend them and their volunteers and the team players stayed there all 3 hours handing out those turkeys. And so it wasn't just a photo op, it wasn't just something to put their names on a flyer or program or to bring press. They actually were there loving on the people there in the Paramore area, and I really appreciate them for doing that. Also, along with Commissioner Ortiz, I also like to thank Mr. Arthur Lee and Lee Wesley Concessions. They assisted with over 100 families, partnering with my office to District 5 Timberleaf Apartments with providing turkeys and Thanksgiving trimmings. So it was a great Thanksgiving for families, low-income families there in District 5. Instead of a chicken in every pot, everybody should have had a turkey on their tables. I'd like to thank Chief Mina and his staff, their OPD, and Miss Georgina. We were able, this past Thursday, it was the 32nd year that OPD have had a Christmas party there in the Paramore area, and about 200 kids or plus all received Christmas toys. And as I stated to Chief Mina, 32 years, I felt like growing up in Paramore, I missed a few Christmas parties because I didn't know anything about it growing up then. But thank you for all that you do in the great community policing. It was face painting, sketches, and something that was special that they did. They made sure that every family took a picture with Santa. And yeah, we had a black Santa. And that's about it in District 5, and I'll let Commissioner Eames go ahead with his report.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 6, Commissioner Samuel Ings.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to say thank you to Arthur Lee and Lee Wesley Associates, too, for providing turkeys for District 6. And of those turkeys, I had them smoked, so families had some nice cooked smoked turkeys. So that was a really great item given to them. And on the agenda, item H3, and this is the agreement between the School Board of Orange County and the City of Orlando, reference the School Resource Officer Program. And since I've been elected, I've been saying this constantly as it relates with our relationship, and that is that we need to have one officer for each elementary school in the City of Orlando, and not one officer assigned to 4 elementary schools. This is just not safe, and this is an opportunity for us to really try to make this happen. So I'm hoping that there is some headway between the City of Orlando and also the school board, and I know it's mostly the school board from that perspective. So, on Wednesday, the 18th of November, I participated in Orange County Public Schools teach-in program at Tangelo Park Elementary. Taught 4 classes with about 72 students. I also spoke at Gotha Middle School, teaching 100 students, and Rolling Hills Elementary School, teaching another 100 students, and gave away books to each of those students at about 272 books that I gave to students. And then on Thursday, the 19th, I attended the One with Paris Memorial Tribute to the victims of Paris, France, and that was held at Urbane in the Dr. Phillips area. And I was supporting the Council of France, Brigitte de Gaulle, in her effort to make sure that acknowledgments and support were shown for Paris. And then on Friday, November 27th, the day after Thanksgiving, I held my 6th annual Thanksgiving concert at El Bethel Temple in Orlando. Guest artist was evangelist Dorothy Norwood, a national and international known artist. Also on hand was Patrick Lundy and the Ministers of Music out of Atlanta, and Gwen Covington, Sammy Clark, the Richardson Five Gospel Singers, and the Martin Ayers Gospel Group from Orlando. And then Friday, December 4th, attended Deborah's Journey Holiday Gala, and this is for the MLS to raise funds for her in her effort to be healed. They had her husband, Walter Briggs, is a former NFL football player. They have special R&B guests, Jeffrey Osborne, performing at this event, and this was held at Heaven Event Center there in Orange County. And I also hosted on Friday night the VIP reception in the City Hall Rotunda for Claire and the Chocolate Nutcracker. And we had a very special guest, actor, dancer, director, Miss Jasmine Guy of Different Worlds. So she was there on hand for the reception as well as the Chocolate Nutcracker on that Saturday, presented by Miss Page, Beverly Page. The event was great there at the Dr. Phillips Center, so we're looking forward to next year as well. Jasmine Guy added some real class, not that it wasn't classy before, but even more classier style to the Chocolate Nutcracker, and she did dance and perform there. And then also attended and sponsored the luncheon or the dinner for the Medical Eye Bank of Florida, the donor quilt ceremony, and this is a very touching ceremony, and it was held at Harry P. Lew Gardens on Sunday yesterday. And also attended a production of a Christmas dance celebration presented by Standing Ovation talent group Miss Terry Burns, local resident here in the city of Orlando, and she's been recipient of some of the mayor's matching grants funds to mayors, so this is a great investment. They actually performed at the Dr. Phillips Center as well, and they had a sold-out audience in the Alexis and Jim Pugh Theater. And then on Saturday, December 12th, is the District 6 Annual Washington Shores Christmas Parade and celebration in the park at Hankins Park. So we're looking for everybody to come out and enjoy. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. A motion on the consent
So
agenda.
moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Haynes, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. We have no CRA meeting, we have no NID meeting, we have no OPEB meeting, so that brings us to new business hearings, and we have one hearing which relates to a resolution of council designating certain property within the city pursuant to the Orlando Economic Enhancement District, 1601 East Colonial Drive, pursuant to Florida Statute 376. Can I get a motion to
So
approve
moved.
that? Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. This resolution by Florida statute requires two public hearings, one of which must be held after 5 o'clock, unless there's a majority plus one vote to hold the second hearing at our normal time of 2 o'clock. So before we vote on the substantive motion, I'd entertain a motion that the second public hearing on this resolution be held at the next regularly scheduled council meeting at 2 o'clock instead of waiting until 5:01.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Haynes, second
That's
by
mine, Ings.
Commissioner Stewart. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
I was just trying to help.
So the second hearing on this will be held at 2 o'clock. All right, on the main motion, discussion. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Madam Clerk, do we have any request cards?
No.
Appearance cards, then...
And Mayor, I'd just like to say that, that while, these are supposed to be after 5, these never have any controversy attached to them. This is actually a redevelopment of a gas station that's become a dumping ground and a real nuisance in my district. So moving forward, Brownfield will be very, very helpful.
All right, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. On to hearings ordinances on second reading. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-61, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to Article 6, Chapter 2 of the Code of the City of Orlando, Florida, entitled Chief Financial Officer, by amending sections 2.29, 2.3, 2.31, 2.32, 2.33, 2.34, to provide clarification of code language to update quarterly reporting requirements to be consistent with existing practices, providing for codification, correction of Scrivener's errors, severability, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Ings. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-62, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to Article 19, Chapter 2 of the Code of the City of Orlando, Florida, entitled Finance Committee, by amending sections 2.14 and 2.141 to provide less specificity in member background requirements, to ensure a broader candidate pool, to provide an opportunity for members to serve more than 2 terms, and to clarify the role of the Finance Committee as an advisory board in reviewing the effectiveness of financial policies and strategies, providing for codification, correction of Scrivener's errors, severability, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to testify on this matter? Do you have one appearance request? Card, Doug Head.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. I didn't speak on the first reading here because, frankly, I didn't know this was happening, but I ran across it in second readings and got to asking myself some questions that I would bring to your attention. The first was that it seems that one of the provisions would allow for indefinite service on this board at the discretion of the mayor. It's primarily an advisory board to the mayor and to his staff, but it involves citizens and is, as a public board, theoretically governed under the Sunshine Law, and it has been a general practice of the city to try to bring new blood into the process and new people into the process. And although I totally support the idea of loosening up the definition of the requirements for participation, I would question the need for indefinite terms. And the second issue that I wanted to bring to your attention is that when I came down here today to just ask about that question, I asked in the city clerk's office for how this board gets appointed, because I've been going to nominating board meetings, and I know that it's difficult to get citizens who are highly qualified to serve on highly technical or very important boards, but this board seems to have an extraordinary amount of authority or scope of authority for finance, for all kinds of financial deals, and to involve some very sophisticated people. And I learned that this board is not appointed through a process that involves solicitation of the public, really, through the nominating board. And then when I asked if I could see minutes of the recent meeting of the board, they're not readily available in the city clerk's office, and nobody seemed to know where to find them. So, in short, this seems to be a board that has a great deal of power, a great deal of discretion to advise the council and the mayor and the chief financial officer, and the board has no nominating review through the nominating board, no term limits under this ordinance, and no available minutes that we can really find. So I would urge you at this point to maybe postpone and try to get some clarity on this particular board and what it does and what its authority and powers and duties are, because they're pretty broad and very important.
Well, this one actually has no real authority or no real power. I created it when I first came into office because we had a significant deficit, so I created it as an advisory piece to simply look over the shoulder of the chief financial officer and we don't have a whole bevy of people that have expressed interest in serving on this board, and in fact, we are short a member and have been short a member for some period of time, so it doesn't allow for indefinite terms. It does allow someone to serve more than two-year terms, and then they would have to be reappointed for terms after that. So, thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-60, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, granting a petition to contract the boundaries of the Randall Park Community Development District as initiated by the District's Board of Supervisors, amending ordinance number 2010-54 to contract the external boundaries of the Randall Park Community Development District, which is generally located at the southwest corner of the intersection of the Central Florida Greenway, State Road 417, and the Beach Line, State Road 528, in accordance with said petition, providing for severability, correction of Scribner's errors, and an effective date.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 4, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-64, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Plan Development Zoning District regulations for approximately 2.93 acres of land generally located north of East Jackson Street, east of South Osceola Avenue, south of East Church Street, and west of South Eola Drive, providing an amended legal description, development plan, and special land development regulations of the Plan Development District, providing for severability, correction of Scribner's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Ordinance is on first read, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-66, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the land development regulations of the
Wahooty.
I need assistance on that one. Plan Development Zoning District. Such district being comprised of approximately 1,266 acres and generally located north of Moss Park Road, south of State Road 528, and abutting the east side of State Road 417, providing for severability, correction of Scribner's errors, and an effective date.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second on the Wahooty ordinance. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Kyle or Madam Clerk, can I put on one of you two to determine what the origins of Wahooty are by the second reading of this ordinance?
That's a good thing for Kyle to do.
And more
Kyle probably knows off the top of his head.
We know this. Hootie, there's a lot of words, town names throughout Florida have Hootie or Hassie or
Hatchie is river.
Yes. So we think that Hootie is also some form of water. And what we've been told is that it meant still water.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what we've learned.
All right.
Indian retention pond.
So it could be, and don't we have a Wawa out that way now? So maybe it's Wawa.
Still Wawa?
Okay, well, that was good instruction, Kyle. Way to be at the ready. Okay, number 2, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-65, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's growth management plan to change the future land use map designated for certain land generally located north of Central Boulevard, east of Lake Eola, south of East Washington Street, and west of North Eola Drive, comprised of 1.35 acres of land, more or less, from residential high intensity to public recreational and institutional. Further amending the growth management plan to change the boundaries of sub-area policy S71, changing the property zoning designation from MXD-2T to PT, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use, sub-area policy, and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Happily moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-67, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to the Land Development Code, adding Section 64.401, relating to special sign districts to create highway digital sign districts and related regulations, providing for severability, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Gray. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, number 4, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-59, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, rezoning certain land generally located north of Woodward Street, east of North Fern Creek Avenue, south of Park Lake Street, and west of Alta Loma Avenue, and comprised of .96 acres of land, more or less, from the O1 Office and Residential District with the traditional city Special 9 plan and aircraft noise zoning overlay districts to the Planned Development District with the traditional city Special Plan and aircraft noise zoning overlay districts, providing a development plan and special land development regulations of the Planned Development District, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Ings. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And the last ordinance, number 5, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2015-58, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to after-hours nightclubs, adopting findings of fact, providing definitions, imposing a temporary moratorium on the opening of new after-hours nightclubs, and on the expansion or relocation of any existing after-hours nightclubs, directing staff to study and report to the mayor on public health, safety, and welfare concerns relating to nightclubs by a date certain, providing for penalties, severability, repeal of conflicting ordinances, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? All right, so this relates to after-hour nightclubs, and some of you, I guess Commissioner Sheehan may have been on this council when we had an issue with raves
Oh,
back in
yeah,
the
a lot of fun.
day, so we had not anticipated after-hours clubs, and we had one that opened recently, so we thought we might consider the effects and study this before we allow wholesale after-hours clubs, so that's why we're going to have a temporary moratorium for us to be able to study the effect and decide whether that's something we want to allow to occur. Okay, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. That concludes the official business of the Orlando City Council for today. Madam Clerk, do we have any general appearance requests?
No, we don't.
What?